my name is Yify, and I wanted to do a quick video today to just share quickly about my experiences working with Elaine. This is sort of just off the cuff speaking. I don't have a script, so there's going to be pauses, there might be some imperfections, but I hope I'm coming across clearly. So I met Elaine in 2017, and it was through Yelp, but also kind of this feeling in my stomach that I was really looking for some affirmation from the universe that I was making the right decisions in my life. Specifically at the time, I was trying to leave this corporate job that I had, which was really unfulfilling and taking time away from me really launching my passion, which is music. I'm a singer-songwriter, and 2017 was the year that a lot of major things happened with my music in order for it to really start and for me to now just kind of run with it and be able to do other things on the side as well. So I found Elaine through Yelp, and I think it was the combination of her reviews as well as the ebooks that she had on her website that really drew me to her. I felt like she was someone who was drawn to and not afraid to share the truth, even if it rubbed other people the wrong way, and definitely even if it weeded out people who otherwise would have been her clients. She was extremely selective with her process of selecting people that she was going to work with, as well as making sure that they completed a certain set of books to be read, things that they should have done. And I found that to be very, very attractive, and it built a lot of trust within me because I think historically I've been someone who was frequently approached by, psychics or tarot card readers, and I always felt like people were more concerned about making money than they were about actually helping people. And in this kind of industry, it's honestly hard to find people you can trust. And so Elaine built that with me pretty quickly. I got on a phone call with her, and I didn't feel pressured at all to work with her. Instead, she made me feel heard and seen in a way that was very unusual and surprising. I remember the day that I was talking to her, I had been not having a good day, and when I was speaking to Elaine, I really felt like there was this sort of like rapid energy moving throughout my body. And over the phone, she had also told me that she felt these symptoms in her body that were actually symptoms of not illnesses, but I would say like small, I guess, medical, unusual, small medical, I guess, like events that were happening with my body. And like besides just being surprised that someone I never told about these things could pick up on that, I also felt like heard and understood in some way, right? So there wasn't really any doubt in my mind at the time that I was meant to work with her, and so that's exactly what I did. I read the books that she recommended, and they resonated very deeply with me and also expanded the way that I was thinking and intuiting about life. I remember the first session with Elaine was very, very in-depth, and I think that's the way that she likes to work. The session itself was 8 hours long, if not longer. And during the session, we talked about everything having to do with my family, to medical events that I mentioned, to things that I was feeling at my workplace, to everything on my mind about what I had wanted to do with my music. And at the end of the day, it wasn't so much about what we had talked about, but it was about the energy support and the energy exchange that I received, both before, during, and after the session, that really propelled me to do a lot of work with myself. I would say definitely to anyone out there, if you're watching this and you're wondering, is Elaine sort of this one-stop quick fix to my life, like a lot of other testimonials that came before me and that will come after me? Definitely not. I think she is someone that initiates. She's someone that is not afraid to speak her mind, but speak it in a way that can get through to you and doesn't feel in any way like imposing or like with some, I would say, therapists or life coaches, right? They can be quite pushy. She is definitely not like that. You feel throughout the entire time that she is sort of just there supporting you, kind of almost like she's like inside your psyche and kind of fighting whatever you're fighting with you, right? But not on your behalf, but with you. And at the end of the day, it is you who has to do the work. And that's certainly what I ended up doing. After my 2017 session with Elaine, I ended up really going through a major spiritual awakening. I was drawn to literature that helped me understand more about the spiritual side of things. I was also drawn to this voice that I began to tune more and more into on my own. I also journaled, I think every day pretty consistently for like months after that first session. Not because I felt I had to, but just because that I felt like there was a consciousness inside that I previously had always felt was there, but didn't really make time for, So in 2017, that was also the year that after we had worked together, I just was able to quit my job. I was able to find other ways of making money that sustained myself, and that led me to also have the courage to record my first musical EP, which after I put out, got some good responses. It allowed me to perform in New York City around the popular venues. And it was really the year that I made a start for myself in the New York music scene. And then, 2017 came, 2018 came, I was learning different lessons, and very coincidentally, I forget how we got back in touch, but Elaine always gets back in touch with me at the times that are really, really right. So I forget what exactly was happening in 2019, but there was a moment that she got back in touch, and I was like, wow, this is like exactly when I had needed to speak with somebody, and not just somebody, but speak with her. And so we had a more light session in 2017, and it was really about, it was also about my work at the time, my music, but it was more specifically about, again, the relationships in my life. I think the theme with Elaine is that she helps you see the ways that you interact with life and all the different people in your life, and how it's deeply connected to what had happened to you as a child. And that plus the energy exchange and the energy support really is able to initiate you on the path that you're meant to go on. And in 2019, that was also what had happened. And then more recently, I made a move to Austin, not really knowing that Elaine was here as well, which really caught me by surprise. And again, without getting into too many details, there was a lot happening in my life that were outside of my control. I was quite stressed about 4 weeks ago. And out of the blue, I received this call from Elaine that was just like, hey, you had popped up in my mind. I felt like it was time to reach out, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. We had worked together again for a pretty light session here in Austin, but it was so impactful. Again, I was able to make decisions in my life that right now it's still too early to say because I'm still in the working process, but it's definitely, again, initiating me to the next path that I'm meant to take in my life. So I'm just overall very, very thankful to God and to the universe that I found somebody like Elaine. And she isn't somebody that is sort of like a crutch, like the way that a lot of therapists and life coaches are, but she's somebody who pops in and out of your life as somebody who just supports you, right? But isn't anyone that you can just get lazy and count on for a short-term fix, because that is definitely not who she is and what she provides. But I think if you're looking to discover the truth within yourself, and you're looking for some way to really launch that for yourself, both in just the courage it takes, as well as just accountability, right? Having someone there to support, having somebody there to validate a lot of what you're going through. Elaine is definitely the person for you, and I think a lot of her her value add in my life has been in words that I can't really explain. You know, it's not really something like we had a session and these were the things we talked about, but it was more on a deeper energetic level. There was just no logical, physical way to explain the insights that I was getting. And I'm not talking about insights I was getting from Elaine, but insights I was getting from my own heart and from my own gut after we had worked together. That, you know, the only way I can explain it is that Elaine really came and fast-tracked things for me. She opened up a lot of portals within my being, and I was able to face myself in a way that I hadn't before. And I would say in each of the 3 sessions, you know, it was looking deeper and deeper within. The 2017 one was very, I would say, it was kind of the starting point, right? I wasn't really that tuned into myself. I wasn't that tuned into the universe, but I just felt like I was called to make some decisions. The later sessions, and especially the last session, it felt very much like a very nuanced session when I already have a lot of the tools in place, and it felt more like reconnecting with an old friend who was really there to support me on an energetic and emotional and spiritual level. So I highly urge anybody out there who's watching this and who's thinking about whether to work with somebody like Elaine, talk to her, see how you feel. And I would say if something in you says this is the right person, I think I found her for a reason, listen to that, because I think it's the call of the universe to take you on a journey. And the journey is not easy, but the journey is very, very, very worth it. So yeah, I thank you for your time watching,